Hello. Well, welcome back to the Ravens Outpost. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing alright. Tonight has been one of them nights. I've struggled with, what are we going to talk about tonight? I'm like, I don't know. Got a lot of stuff I could talk about, but do I have a lot of material that I can fall back on? Not a whole lot. Mopar, what's up, man? Welcome. I'm going a little later tonight. I'm going to throw... Oh, Hiker X. Hey, Rick, what's up? I am going to throw an invite into the chat. What's up, Danny? The Swing Machine. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Blue-Eyed Northern, hey. How's it going? You guys ever wonder with all the advancements in medicine and hold on. We're talking about Bill Gates, I'm pretty sure. I am, man. I don't know. It's light's a little drastic. It is. Next thing you know, I'll be wearing that flipping eye patch. Jeremy, how's it going? Glad to see everybody here tonight. So what I was talking about is, with the medical advancements and all like that, you would think with everybody's rush to stay young that it would have happened. I mean, you look at the history of mankind, and we're talking about pre-flood here, and across the globe you have civilizations that have a story about a great flood, right? So before then, there were people who were living thousands of years. So what happened to that? Who shut that switch off? Who shut that immortality switch off? It's something to think about, huh? Hail to all on chat tonight. I know that's what you meant to say, brother. Yes, indeedy. The ancient tablets. It's got before the flood, people lived thousands of years. The kings pre-flood, one in particular, uh, Alulim, recorded. I mean, again, considering this might be, the fact. Okay, it's recorded. 28,000 years. Can you imagine that, dude? Can you imagine that? How much you could fit into 28,000 years? A lal jar, 36,000 years. Some of these names are hard to freaking pronounce, guys. Just hold on. Enmenlu Anna, 43,000 years. Enmendur Anna, 21,000 years. Then you get post flood. Oh, Anub, Anbu, 30 years. Anba, 17 years. ZZ, 20 years. We get the. That's a hell of a cut. Is this for population control or what? We've got a lot of DNA that is considered by scientists junk DNA. The Anunnaki. That's who we're talking about. And it's funny that this is brought up because the other night, M.K. Davis went live with some stuff that had been found, some pictures of some stuff had been taken out west. And it's Sumerian. It's a carving in stone. And it's the same as the Sumerian carvings. If you see, like the Swing was saying about the eagle, the gods with literal eagle heads in the hieroglyphs, the Anunnaki, some of them that had these bands around their wrist, and with a circle looks almost like a flower. It could be a map, some type of communication device. We don't know. Exactly. Methuselah, 969 years old. Right, I mean, Enoch was older than that, but he never died. He's the one that's mentioned in the Bible that's briefly, and the whole reason why I believe they took his writings out, or whoever's writings out, is because they tell the truth. They open up your mind. And the powers that be did not want that. That's just my opinion. But, that's right, Brandon. Ancient aliens suggest some of these people were being taken up into space and being brought back decades later as if they had time traveled. Yeah. Yep. I think Ray's wore out. She's been beating herself to death at home. She might show up here in a little bit. I sent her a message to see if she'd show up. Hey. Operation Mockingbird. Hiker X says, sometimes I wonder whether the movies, etc., are just the truth hiding in plain sight. Most of these movie sets have a CIA operative on their payroll. Just saying. Uh, Machine, you just gonna have to tell me how that turns out, bruh. Tell me how it sounds like it's a good time. Bat Mom in the house. How you doing? Apparently, life on Mars. Yeah, I mean, for laughing all crazy. When I'm not laughing all crazy, honey. Seriously. Uh, Jeff, what's up, brother? How you doing? Pine Island Research in the house. What's up? Thank you for stopping by, man. So I gotta ask, how is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. I do. I hope everybody's doing good. No guests tonight. Just me running my mouth. Won't be on for very long. I plan on having just an hour here. And if anybody has a story they want to share, I dropped a link in chat. If you want to pop on and tell an encounter, but after midnight, I'll I'll drop a link, and if you got something you need to get off your chest, you a story you want to tell, but you just don't want to share with anybody else, I'm going to leave this open. Um, we're talking about all this, but take a little break from that for a second and just say that this whole channel here for me has been therapy. For me, it always makes me feel better to come on here and talk to you guys because you get it. You do. You get it, and you've been there. You've done that. And I just wanna, pay it back. Be here for you if you need somebody to talk to. So I'm gonna try and make it Wednesday nights if I can keep it that way. Um, um, Hold on, just watching chat. Um, I want to make a Wednesday night an open night for anybody to come on who wants to share their story, and uh, whether you want to share it with everybody else or if you want to share it, in private. I'm gonna leave that entirely up to you. Um, Eric, what's up with you and swamp gas, bruh? Feet is reflecting on swamp gas. Look, I don't want to be all serious all the time. Um, I was talking to a buddy of mine today, my brother from another mother. He saw something really strange here a few months back in his backyard. It He described it to me looking almost like a big cat, almost like a mountain lion, but it's up in a tree, right? And it was high up in the tree. Where his house sits, on his back porch. Yeah, you can see it. It's on his front porch rather. You look down over the hill. I mean, it's got his yard's a slope, and it's not far to the tree line. He hadn't got much of a yard, and he's surrounded by the woods. And he said he steps outside. He's looking, and the dogs were going off about something. That's the only reason why he went out there. And he looked up in a tree because he heard something. He looked to shine his light, and it caught a yellowish green tint to the eye shine. So it was nocturnal. But what he saw would look almost like a cat. A big cat. But he said it was in length. He said it was probably about every bit of 4.5, 5 feet in length. And he said that it had shoulders like a person, almost humanoid like. But he said that he looked away for just a second and it was gone. Danny, how you doing, man? Has anybody ever heard of anything like that before? I mean, that's crazy. He's a new cryptid. I don't know. I'm scared to put that label on a lot of this stuff anymore. When you look at the definition of a cryptid, it's an animal, right? It's an undiscovered animal. I mean, the bellyape was up till here about 2 or 3 years ago. They were a cryptid, right? At one point, the mountain gorilla was a cryptid, right? So, but they are considered animals of a higher intelligence. That's a given, but when you go into reports of the forest folk, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, and then the dog man or the goat man or whatever, these beings exhibit signs of extreme intelligence, human level intelligence, but a feral nature. So I'm really hard. It's really hard for me now to put that label on these creatures. It's really hard for me to call them a cryptid because I don't consider them animals. I consider them to be some type of entity, a humanoid type entity, highly intelligent. Right. Well, people like to hyphenate and shorten stuff because they get a little lazy. I get it. Cat person. It could be, man. I don't know. But I remember he told me about this before, but he said he's also hearing a lot of strange noises. And I asked him exactly what it was he was hearing. And he said he couldn't really explain it. And he said it could be, now, not too far away from him, maybe a half a mile, I guess, away from him is an Interstate 81. But there's a buffer of woods that, that help deaden that noise. But there is that sound, you hear that cry when the wheels make a certain racket when they reach certain RPM on that pavement, and you just hear that howl, and it could be that, and he admitted that, but I have pictures. I'm gonna have to download and show you guys of the fire in the sky that he saw. I was explaining it to my nephew. He said it could be, they're working on a gas pipeline in this area, and he's like, maybe that's what that was. Let's say that's what that was. I said, where he said it was at, there is no pipeline, none. They're not running anything out that way. So I don't know what that was. Shapeshifter. When he told me about it, that's, believe it, buddy, I'm telling you, that's what I went to. I said, but why would he be around that house? Well, my buddy in particular. I don't know. Phil C, how you doing, buddy? Phil C in the house. What's up? Glad you stopped by. But there's, I forget, I think it's like, let me get my notes here. Ooh, I have notes. Today, scientists know that only about 5%, of the DNA contained in our genes is used to reproduce human beings. The remaining 95% is an undecipherable code referred to as junk DNA. Okay. And then but is it really junk and unnecessary, or might or maybe a remaining DNA be locked, like having a governor on a car engine, or untapped potential, the true divine part of us? Most scientists now know that the so-called junk DNA is actually essential for life. 5%. That's not a lot to make us who we are. There's a lot of other sequences in our DNA that make us who we are. Yep. Exactly. The God sequence. So, you look at disease and aging, and especially these degenerative diseases. Right. And there are some people out here who have been able to kind of beat the system, living up, and that's here recently, living up to about 120 years, and that's blows my mind. I believe it's like 10%, bro. They say that is how much of the brain we use I get by with less. It says 10%, but I think it's more than that actually. But there are parts of the brain, the parts of the mind. If you want to separate the two, the brain is the muscle, the mind is your spirit. And what keeps everything running. Take your pineal gland, for instance. I'm sure most if not all of you, are well aware of the pineal gland, and its ability to produce DMT. It is our third eye. It's our super sensory organ in the brain. That's that teeny tiny portion of our brain that is responsible for us having intuition. It's primarily like it's been it's been said to be our third eye. And I've worked really hard to open that sucker up, and sometimes I wish I could close it now. Be careful what you wish for. If you do it too fast, I know it sounds nuts, but I particularly don't care. You get bombarded with energy. And it's overwhelming. It really is. Must okay. Do you believe that's why they put fluoride in our water to dampen it? I absolutely do. Along with a lot of other chemicals that we're being forced to choke down our throat. All these so-called preservatives and whatnot, that especially the fluoride in the water and your toothpaste and all this other stuff, if you can buy without having that in there in your diet, absolutely get it out. Get it out. Well, fluoride helps fight tooth decay, but fluoride is also in rat poison. Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. I've been looking at this a while. I really have. And I tell you what. And I talked about this the other night on Nona's show, and how Isa, how you doing? I talked about how, with all of my other paranormal experiences, most of the time I actually had someone with me that, or I knew someone that had experienced the same thing in the same location. One of the two happened. So I had no qualms talking about it. I had no problem talking about it. So when I had my Sasquatch encounter, it was hard for me to talk about because I was by myself, and the fact that it scared the piss out of me. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to see if I can share this. Hold on, guys. This is... Send you an email of a massive tree stump will make your head spin. All right, everybody, take a look at this. This is what he's talking about. If you can see, this is what he's talking about right here. Isn't that crazy? Dude. Seriously. Send more stuff. I know, right? Papa C. Craig, how you doing, man? My lovely face. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lovely face. Oh, I love you too, man. You know, and that's right. In Norse mythology, they talk about the world tree. You know, the tree that linked everything together. Asgard, Midgard. It makes you wonder if there was something to that, you know? Hey, Jen. How you doing? But it's one of those things, man. I mean, our history has been, well, I can't say watered down, but just erased. And they tried their damnedest to erase it. I know, right? It boggles my mind. Yep. I think I talked about that here not too long ago. I heard about that from somebody. Yeah. The one who's talked most about giants is Duke Sullivan, World Bigfoot Radio. I know World Bigfoot Radio and Bigfoot Odyssey have been kind of at odds here lately, but that's between them. I'll let them hash that out. I'm not going to promote or weigh in on any more of that. I've done my share, but yeah, um, I think our history. I think it was Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock. It was that said that humans are a people with amnesia. We really don't know much about our history in the grand scheme of things. Um, can't we just all get along? I know, right? No one's an expert in any field, man, for real. I report what I see. I give my opinions, but that's about all I got. I got opinions and theories. I mean, some of it is just. Here's how my mind works, and I'm just trying to figure that out. Some of it is just so blatantly obvious. It's just hard for me not to acknowledge it, But yeah, exactly, absolutely. See, you guys get it. You guys get it, man. Absolutely. There's so much of our history that's missing. Why are we at odds with one another all the time? Why are we such a warring tribal race? We're the most. We can be the most loving and the most hateful, evil beings on the planet. Yeah. Duke's all over that stuff, man. 3 foot long tracks, dude. That blows my mind. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Let's look. We're talking about. See if I can get to it. Pardon me, the turning of the pages. We'll talk about Gilgamesh. Okay, we're going back to Samaria. Gilgamesh, 12 to 14 feet tall. A god of Kesh, Satika, a tribe of giants whose remains were found in Lovelock Cave in Lovelock, Nevada. They were said to be cannibalistic, and the human-like remains in the 1920s. A male over 8 foot, female over 6 foot in the 1930s. Remains found measured between 8 foot to 10 foot in Lockport, Nevada. Smithsonian cover-up. I'm sure what you're talking about here. A reporter named Jim Ferreira discovered 1,500 accounts from newspapers and books published in the 1800s and early 1900s. Arkansas, Chickasaw Mound, many large skeletons found at the site. Many ranging from 8 to 9 feet in length were found. 1976, a 7-foot skeleton was found at the site. So I've been doing some little research here. I mean, why would the Smithsonian cover this up? Let's see, there's a difference from someone who just wants to speak a bunch of BS, always talking like they know everything, compared to someone who speaks truth and goes after those people so that other innocent people don't get hurt. Huge difference. Yes, indeed. I agree with that. I mean, there's enough. And to get off topic here, I mean, we bounce around anyway. You know how it is here. We've got enough problems with the normies out here anyway. We want to try and warn them that there's stuff out here. If you're going out in the woods, be wary. And then they look at you like you got 3 heads. And, it's, oh well. But we've got enough problems to deal with naysayers and all that other stuff without us having to fight amongst ourselves and talk a bunch of BS. Bat Mom, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's pure say that we have mountain giants, devils in the mountains next to Hell's Canyon. I mean, Papa C, what do you believe? Do you believe them? Do you have any reason not to? See, this is where I'm at right now. It all has to do with control, man. It all has to do with control. Absolutely. We've got a bunch of free thinkers here, man. We're always talking. Always talking. What's up, Scotty? Donald Fuller in the house. Hope I hadn't missed anybody. X, you do what you got to do, brother. You do what you got to do. I'm just happy I got this many people to hang out with my sorry butt for this long. Yep. Yeah, you can't help but do that. Have you heard about the shortage of baby formula? The shortage of baby formula. There's going to be food shortages. There's talk about all this stuff is going on over in Europe and the Ukraine. Everything points to the Ukraine. What's going on over there? What is it about that place? It's such a hot spot. What have they got going on over there that we have no idea about? Yeah. Yep, I think you should probably start trying to stockpile on a few things now and get back to basics and tighten your belts a little. That's what we're doing around here. Oh, yeah. Yep. Has anybody out there heard of the fog of war? The term fog of war is where propaganda gets thrown around so much that nobody knows for sure what the truth is. You know, we don't know. There's so many bad actors out there. People that have been placed in power by both sides. So Bat Mom's got it. Canning food, saving what you can, stocking up on heirloom seeds to grow food, making tinctures for herbal medicines. Yep, you're right. Not the end of the world, but maybe for some. Why ain't you feeling bad, man? Yeah, you're right. Shit's coming. I believe that. Yep. Say free freaking thinkers, man. And don't it don't get much better than that. It's right. That's true. Left wing, right wing, all the same bird. Pretty much. Yep. Everything's tied together. Survival instinct causes all living things to encounter evil intent, and the good comes from the survival part of cooperation in order to survive with tribes or cultures. That's right. I mean, you see the tribal divide that's in the country now because of political bullshit. And that's why we're here right now. I'm, you know, I'm just hosting a platform where we can compare notes. Just saying. Just if anybody wants to jump on for a few minutes, and got a story they'd like to tell, or got their 2 cents they want to throw in there, and got about. For he walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. I mean, God's word is God's word. I believe there's a lot to be said in there. There's a lot to be looked at as, well, I won't get into that. Not today. Yeah, it hadn't begun yet. Absolutely. United we stand. Divided we fall. United States of America. The only reason why we've not been invaded or anything like that is because we have been united for so long. And, the old saying here in America that, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but I love the saying, there's a gun behind every blade of grass. And that's the reason why we have not been invaded and why we haven't been conquered. But they've figured out a way to do it. And that's get these Marxists in here to tear the country down, get them in positions of esteem power to push the propaganda machine, indoctrinate the youngsters. And this has been going on since the 60s. Absolutely. But the one thing they haven't really counted on, and that they're thinking too linear in their way of thinking, they didn't really count on people like us and how many people like us there actually are. You know? Mm-hmm. Breakage happens every time, brother. Says device not connected. I don't know what it is about your system, but it blows. Sorry, buddy. If you're at least your audio's connected, I think it'll work. Yeah, that's about right. I don't like pow pows for yeah. Pows. I like it. Yeah. That's great. You know, I've talked about this before, and I bring it up again. How many of you felt that shift a few years back? And I think it started well before Trump was put in office. I mean, him being put in office is one of the best things that happened to this country. And I'm not saying that as a diehard Trump fanatic. I'm just saying that him being there exposed a lot of stuff. You know, him being on from the outside and him not playing by their rules really messed them up and shook their tree. We found out exactly how many nuts was in that tree, and just about every last one of them. Yeah, I mean there was a shift in power. It was like it was a spiritual thing almost. I mean, it's hard to put into words other than that. And I've heard a lot of other people talk about that. Yeah, when he was elected and put into office, man, and people lost their minds over what? Make America great? Or he's a racist? Shit. Yeah. Miss me with that nonsense. Yep. They don't get woke. A lot of people you know, don't get woke up until it's too late. I mean, the train is derailed and it's in the freaking water, and you're done. Yep. Yep. I mean, a lot of this evil is just in your face, shaking his bare naked ass at you, daring you to say something about it. If you do, you're an instaphobe or a racist. Yeah, when he was head of the CIA. Before then, when he was a CIA operative. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like that, man. Yeah. Flat Rock, how you doing, buddy? Yep. 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 Orchestrated a bunch of shit. I believe it. There is such a place. I believe there's a certain place in hell, a special place in hell for them people. Yeah, well, dude, it's really it's lost its sting. It really is. It makes me laugh, shake my head. I believe it was a couple of days ago. I told you it wasn't last weekend. It was weekend before last. I had a chance to hang out with some beautiful people. I really did, and I love these people to death. I do. And a mention of politics in some degree popped up, and feelings toward certain individuals. Now I kept my mouth shut and kept my opinions to myself. I just wanted to sit and listen and hear what they had to say before I opened my mouth and started something started down a road I could not go back from. So I listened to what they had to say, and after a little while, I come to the realization that no, sorry, I come to the realization that these people were caught up in the wheels of the machine, the propaganda machine, and all of their ideals and beliefs were all based on the bullshit that they've been fed. True mushrooms, kept in the dark, fed a lot of shit, and that's what they believe. And that's all they believe. And they're part of that other camp. But aside from that, they're beautiful people and very conservative in a lot of ways. And it blew my mind, and I'm like, it broke my heart to a certain degree. And I'm like, this is very indicative of the rest of the country, and how much evil that we've been oppressed by, and we're oppressed. We really are. The veil is thin, folks. The veil is getting thinner by the day, and I believe this. It's the reason why there's so much more paranormal activity on the uptick. And a lot of it's not being reported. It's just not. Some people just like to keep to themselves. They just want their privacy and they want to be left alone. Well, to a certain point, I don't know. I'm here to offer some of my services if I can do it. Yeah. You see that one show where he was in a robe? He looked like he was with. Oh, it looked like he bought it right off of Anton LaFay's closet. Bought it right out of his closet. I'm not kidding you. Uh huh. Tricky Dick Nixon. Yep. metaverse, transhumanism. Oh, did you blaze? You blazed up, and you're watching James and the Giant Peach now, bro. So this is what you're seeing. That's cool. That's cool, man. Oh, let's see where we got. Jeremy says the veil is paper thin. Weird shite happening everywhere. Absolutely. No one's immune to it now. No one. Let's. I guarantee you, within about a year, you're not going to be able to run into anybody who hasn't had some sort of paranormal experience. How they deal with it, I don't know. Depends on the individual. But I about guarantee you, the way things are going, you're probably going to be hard pressed to run into someone who has not had some type of paranormal experience in some form or fashion. They've seen a UFO, had experiences with angels, demons, ghosts, Bigfoot, dog man, goat man, whatever. Gugwy. Yeah. I try not to get too political or too religious because that has a source of a lot of strife. But I'll call out something when it needs to be called out. And there's some people who may not be ready for it. That's all there is to it. But a lot of things I've found out over the last couple of years. And I just got to say thank you, Sasquatch, for bringing me down this wormhole. Eric, you're a mess, dude. You're a mess. We got to get together, Hoss. We got to get together. We really do. Oh, no, right? What was it? Yep. You know, Buck Wild. Dude, you finally did it. I was wondering when. I kind of figured you'd like that too much for you not to pass that one up. What's up, brother? Doing good, doing good. I hope you're doing all right. It's top of the hour. I'm gonna throw the link in chat one more time, and I'm gonna have it and let it go about another 25 minutes, and I'm gonna call it a night. This is 12:08, and I gotta get up early in the morning. Oh Lord. Most legends have some truth to them, and there are too many stories from all over the world concerning giants, Bigfoot, and little people. Who knows? Well, here's the thing I got to say about that. We're the few that understands this. We've got... How can I put this? We've had the privilege of having our eyes opened. We've had the privilege of taking that red pill and coming out the matrix. And we're awake to the crazy BS that's going on in the world, where a lot of people just turned a blind eye. They just don't care. And at one point, I was like, I would explain something to somebody and they would just shake their head. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Does that not make any sense to you? But the indoctrination runs so deep. They don't ask questions. They just want to be spoon-fed the same shit they've been getting for the last how many years they've been alive and able to ingest it. Yeah, I know. All right, here we go. Here's the, one more time, if you want to come on and say something. That's right. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the most comfortable I feel. Now, I've got my buddy I was telling you about. He has this aversion to this sort of thing. But I would love it if I could get him on here and talk to you about some of his experiences. Now, I doubt he'll do it. I really do. But I would love for him to come on here. Because some of the shit that's happened to him would blow your mind. But he could also confirm some of the stuff that has happened to both of us while we were hanging out together in our younger years. Because we've known each other for going on 40-some years now. That's crazy. Squatching Cowboy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Well, Joe's had his run-in with some individuals here lately. Well, look at yonder. What's up, buddy?
Hey. Not try to reverb too much here.
Yeah, me too.
Usually no, I actually let me see here. There we go. No, I actually had a point to something. And that's putting out feelers. Like I said, about. Am I still reading?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay, good. About strange. I guess sense. I know it sounds stupid, but I'm kind of lost because never not been able to explain something. And if anybody has had something, as far as best way I can put it was it's akin to rotten flesh and like decay, the putrefaction stage of decay. And just briefly, it occurred, I think, Sunday night. And so,
Oh, I'm going to try and they say you're reverbing, and I think it's on my end. Give me a second. I'll straighten this out.
Where? Headphones. I can't hear where it puts. I think someone stole my headphones. No, they didn't. I just didn't place them somewhere that I can find them again.
All right, guys, is that better? I had to put my headphones on.
Did it? Are we reverbing?
We were. I think we're good now.
Did you guys hear an echo of some type? No. What's that?
Yeah, it was me. It was me.
Oh.
So that smell.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned that smell. Was that where was that? Outside, inside, or where was it at?
Well, it's like a garage.
Uh-oh. Lost the video, Kimosabe. Uh-oh.
There, is that it? Weird.
Yeah, man. You're back.
I thought it was in my Chrome or some shit. But actually moving through because I had to recently my little workshop area. I had to fucking spray the shit out of it with ortho. I had to finally give in and do something like that, and I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. You can't always be eco-friendly and natural. But it's right out, here behind me, which is not the best because you can't really see shit since it's dark. But
right.
It's in this area here, and yeah, about right here. I just wanted to get myself kind of whatever. But
Good night, Donald.
It was back. I mean, I'm up in my, like I said, in the workshop, second story. It's a garage, kind of situated like a loft up above a garage, and I don't have any windows up because it's about it's I want to say it was 2:25 a.m. And because I stay up late typically, and all of a sudden, like I'm watching a movie like I always do, just stupid whatever horrors, and I was like, I kind of got a little bit like, whoa, for once, because I was not expecting something. But that's when it hit, and I was like, and that, so I kind of get taken for a minute, like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? It's this rotting, decay, decomp smell. I mean, it's bad, very heavy. And I've had it hit me once like that before, not out here, not at, anywhere I'm usually at. It was on the road. So I've had it hit me sudden and abrupt like that before. This was different though. Like I said, I'm sitting up in that thing, windows closed, and I'm at my stay, like my table, where I sit at, and you know, just painting as I usually am when I'm doing usually at night like that. So um, I'm just trying to piece this together because this is, I'll be honest with you, I haven't disclosed everything yet about this. It it's kind of fucking with me a little bit because it's very bizarre, and I've ruled out everything pretty much almost 100%. I've done extensive um, research on this one, gone a little bit above and beyond because I clocked everything, recorded everything. It was 225, 56 degrees outside. Wind was 4 miles per hour going in a southwest direction. So toward me from an area that, and scent molecules depend on a lot of things, how they can carry on the wind and such. Well, there's no wind really. 4 miles isn't much. Where it's supposed to be coming from, the southwest direction, coming from or toward the southwest direction, there's too many obstacles. A fence, another structure, smaller garage, um, possibly, yeah, vehicle would have been in the way too. Tree, just a lot of things that would have kind of, if something was decomposing, it would be very, very close. You could find it. I've searched a 6 acre area. I haven't found anything. I've gone up and down the road, didn't find nothing. Looked for vultures next day. Um, you know, asked other people because this is located on my mom's property, and I left the next day back over where my girlfriend's at, and where I normally stay, and I told him, I just said, hey, if you let me know if you smell anything, there might be, and I didn't want to put it anyway. I just said there might be like a dead bird in there or something. I knew there wasn't because I looked. I looked. It can't be in the walls either because the walls are not finished, so it can't be in the walls. Um, and we would have, my little dog would have noticed too because she's with me all the time. There's not anywhere I don't go with her, and she didn't react to the scent that night. That's what really struck me as odd. She was 10 to 12 feet away from me on the couch adjacent, her little couch I got set up for her. She lives in better luxury than most human beings, I feel like, but me included. But she didn't react. Didn't even act like nothing. She usually catches scent. She's pretty alert, pretty every noise, all that stuff. She's always like jumps up and stuff. Nothing. And I kind of got up, you know, after I smelled this because this hit me hard. This was like akin to driving down the road and you dead deer carcass is bloated. Like I said, it's going through that decay stage after it's been out probably in the sun or just been out dead for about a day or two.
That
And
sickeningly sweet smell.
yes, but man,
Mm-hmm.
this was so pungent and strong.
Right.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was like someone threw. If I didn't know any better, if someone had come up, I didn't know nothing about it. They snuck up on me somehow and put a dead bird right in front of me, or hit me with one, or even I don't know, threw a dead animal of any kind over 20 pounds. That's how abrupt. I mean, it was just overpowering. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is that? I get up and I go over towards her because I look over and I'm my little dog and I was like, she just still sleeping. I was like, she would have done something by now. Like kind of got like at least started sniffing in the air like she does. And so I walk over towards her. She this and there's nothing. That's what really bothers me. That's not how that works. I grew up surrounded by woodlands. We went to the country as I always make fun of my mom and all them when they say that we're going to the country because I'm like, what country are we going to? We're already in one. Now, just being a smartass. But we grew up in the country. They grew up in the country, and we would go down there a lot and visit her family. So I know what this stuff. I've been you know versed with this stuff, if you will. That's not how it operates, man. It wafts a little bit. It lingers. And there could be a totally logical explanation, but I've yet to come across it. And like I said, I've got all the stuff, the wind, direction. I came outside and looked around because I thought maybe a coyote brought something. Because coyotes are known. I mean, like I said, there's 6 acres of woodlands straight back behind me. So maybe a coyote walked across the driveway by chance, just by chance. But I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. My dog would have, because she's reacted to other animals just coming around. I mean, again, it's not a complete science, but it's very troubling to me that I walk 5 feet from where I was seated and it's gone. It's not there. There's no trace. It's like a zone, a bubble of some type for a moment. It was just like that existed and then it didn't. And like I said, my brother actually lives nearby too. I made sure to kind of check with him. I said, "Hey man, you seen any dead shit on the road? Y'all seen any vultures like in your neighborhood?" Because he's literally like adjacent about half a mile at best. He's like, "No, I'm not noticing anything." I mean, again, that's just one part of it. That's not something that's definitive. Like, hi, it's he might not have just seen it, but like I said, there's multiple people I'm able to say, hey, have you noticed any volt? Like, because man, I'm telling you right now, it's funny as shit. There was just a dead squirrel on the road one time. Man, these turkey vultures out here don't play. They will they will get up in that because it was right here on the road. And this is a pretty busy road. This thing was pulling it off the road, pulling it back on the road, pulling it off because it was eating it. It didn't want to eat in the grass, I guess, because it was, I don't know. But point being is, something dies out here, there's vultures. They're going to come forward. And if not them, ravens. And if not them, crows. If not them, other birds. There's too many things that will get into something out here easily. And no signs of vultures, I think. No signs of scavenging. I mean, I've checked every so often because, like I said, it's a pretty clear shot. And if that smell, as strong as it was, something should be dead within my radius of. I mean, shit, I would, if I'd smelled that and not whatever, I would have said something within 15 goddamn feet of you. Um, so I mean, this is probably one of the more. I just don't have either I had a mental break, or there's some kind of sickness where you smell rotting flesh, and I don't know, my brain's being eaten away, possibility, or I don't know what the fuck that was, and I don't. I'm stumped. I've never kind of felt like I can't figure this out.
Well, it sounds to me like you run the gambit of trying to decipher whatever this thing was. I mean, you went through everything you could possibly think of to try and debunk it. So, I mean, when you eliminate X and Y, all you've got is Z. I mean, it's got to be Z. So, I mean,
I mean, that's the thing, man. That's
what
what
is it?
bothers me most. I
Right,
don't I don't know what Z is.
right, right. Yeah, that's the big question.
I don't.
That's where we that's where we label it paranormal and go about our business. But we got to figure out what we when you are in close proximity and it's to something like that, and it's personal because it's where you live.
Well, I mean, this is that property where all the very things I told you about,
Right.
and I mean, just when certain things keep happening, I don't understand it. This one doesn't fall in line with anything else. It makes me uncomfortable. I have not been uncomfortable by something in a while, like really uncomfortable. Like there
Right.
was, well, that thing on the, hmm, hmm,
Right. Right.
hmm, that thing that happened in March. Actually, almost forgot. Shit. I don't think they're tied. I don't think it's tied together, Paul. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Uh, no, I don't think it's no. I don't think that would be tied. That doesn't make sense.
To be honest with you, man, none of it makes sense. I mean,
That makes me uncomfortable.
in the grand scheme of things, well, goddamn right, it would make me uncomfortable too. I
Well,
mean,
I didn't get into all this, but there's like I think there's something about if birds fly in, it signals death.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A bird flew in that day too. I mean, it had to happen a couple times, but yeah, we were. It was funny. Like I said, my little dog. I talked to her like a person because I was standing up there and I said, "Oh shit!" A robin flew in, like frantic, freaking out and shit. And I told her, I was like, "Hey, look!" I said, "This bird doesn't know how to fucking get back out of here. He sure knew how to get in though, didn't he?" Um, and it was only like 20 seconds, but and because it flew back out, but then that's the night that happened, and then last week, where I said something, and Karen, my mother, said an incident with her last week in their attached garage. A bird flew in there, tried to like bash itself into the window. I was like, oh, you know. So it's just weird shit like that with animals. That's what I was talking about. Animals, something weird. It was like birds flying into shit. I get it, but that's the third in a year. I mean, maybe it's just, hmm, maybe that's nothing. That's where I start to wonder. Am I starting to see too much and or read too much into things? Probably, but it just weird, weird, because of how that signifies that, and then smelling death, because that's what it is. It's
Right.
and I'm not really. I put feelers out, and I haven't really got anything back. I mean, I posted in one group because there's a few I don't. There's only a very small amount I'll do that in. Um, and I got someone did say something about methane, and that's pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You would think that, but it's not methane. It's not possible. Doesn't Yeah, it's just not possible out here, and that has to mix with hydrogen sulfide anyways to create a rotting egg smell. So that's probably not going to be. That's not what I smelled. This was rotting flesh. That's immediately what I thought. And I mean, I think that's what makes me so weirded out. Made me uncomfortable.
Well, with everything that's been going on around that place, and then all of a sudden you get those smells. I mean, and you know
But
what they're associated. That type of smell is associated with. I mean,
a couple of things, yeah, that's. I mean, that's what somebody said. Somebody was like, one of their responses was, and I mean, it's just I had fun with it because it's just like, there's no way. Said, oh, that's a Bigfoot, and I'm like, no, it's not, because there's too many things that would have picked it up through here.
right.
Too many things that would have reacted, and it's also just my city has had one report I've been able to find, not recent either. That I mean, after this was prior to this. I've searched for that just because I'm fascinated with that. I think it's fine, but I've never. There's only been one report, and it's nowhere near here, and it could have been pareidolia too. I mean, it's only one for the whole city. Like we've just not known for that, so nobody. I mean, that's not to say whatever. I'm just saying, out of all this research I've done, I've never come across anybody talking about that much for the city. So, it's just, I, I don't really get that one. That's not one you know. And then when theology comes in, I don't know about that either. mean, I can't prove or disprove anything. It just, I mean, this is one I don't really know where to turn to, and I don't know.
What about Jamie's? What she say about it?
I've talked to her a little bit about it. She knows funny enough, I've done mapping because it's one of the little things I like to do, and my brain rattles around sometimes. And, she actually friends with somebody, a family that has had. They're about 5 miles away down a road, but I've had. Funny enough, that's where I've smelled that before, near this road, and while driving, and evidently they've had some experiences on their property, very unnerving. Like they won't. They evidently have a family. They all kind of live around each other, all have houses, and I'm still trying to get all of that out because she's still asking them. But something about like the father won't go into a certain house, and that's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing in your state, and it's just personal experience, but it's weird. I've actually heard that a lot, like how parents like of people like my age and stuff. It's like our parents or something. They either won't talk about this stuff or they're certain because her father, Jamie's father, he's 70, military guy. Real, I really like. He's really good stand up guy. Their family owns a historic. They have a historic home in I can't Springfield, Kentucky. Springfield, like it's an actual historic home that they're trying to get historical status for it because it's like one of the very first homes. It was the first home owned by a doctor in the town, but one of the first homes in the entire town. So it's old as hell. And people, whatever, they vandalize and shit. There's awful, but he refuses to go in there. He so much so that and it's bizarre. I don't even know how to broach this, and she wouldn't know how to either because I don't know if he ever would. But what struck me about that is he won't even. He gave up ownership of it technically. Like he let his sister run it, who is, and she's not taking care of it. But he's got something. Something has happened in that home so much so that he won't even visit or go in, and hasn't for years. And that's kind of the same thing with this who's experienced stuff out about 5 miles away from here. That person's father, again, will not go in a certain home. I don't know, and it's so hard to get that out of these kind of older people because they won't talk about it. But like, what if there's something so that they? What if there's something that's happened to them, and then that key clicks? I'm not saying that it's definite, but it's just I wish they would share more. But it's weird to see these really hardened people that like aren't really bothered by much be incredibly bothered by certain things, so much so that they avoid it. I don't know. Um, so James kind of, I don't know. I don't really know. She wants to come out here sometime when she has the time, but um,
Yeah,
she's been out here.
I was
She's
gonna ask you if she'd done that.
she's been out here. I mean, she's come out for family. Yeah, I mean, they've lived here.
Right.
Shit, man, like 3 years now, over 3 years. So she's been out here probably. I don't really know. I mean, I'd say at least 10 times. Never really said anything. Actually, it's funny enough. Um, I've even asked her like, "Hey, you feel anything?" Like the only place she said that was weird to her was the basement in the home, and I, I mean, she didn't really elaborate, and I personally have only experienced benign things in there, like the knocking and stuff. Nothing like that. I've actually the really horrifying things, And I can say that because I'm putting them all together to make. I think that's what's whatever. They've all happened to me outside, and everybody else has had shit happen to them inside. Technically, the smell was. Um, well, let me clarify. Everything that's weird that's happened to anyone else has been inside the home. Anything that's happened with me has been outside of it, like out on the land or in the loft area there, because that's primarily where I'd be at. Um,
I don't know, man.
so yeah,
It's
putting it all together makes me very. I'm. I don't know. It's ramping up. That's what I was concerned about.
yeah. You
Just
might,
weird.
yeah. You might want to do a cleansing of your house, man.
I've thought that it needs to be done. Yes,
I mean, it just sounds.
but
I'll
this.
be honest with you. I'll tell you the truth, and I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. It wasn't a Sasquatch. It was the first thing that come to my mind with the smell. You know, most malevolent hauntings tend to have that accompany it. You know, with the banging on the walls and strange other odd occurrences, things coming up missing, or you know, you see strange apparitions around the property, and
See, I
but that
haven't seen that. That's what's fucking weird, dude.
but that smell,
My
that
grandmother
smell
has
is
though.
yeah. I mean, that's what I remember you telling me about that. I think that's why I was referencing. But I mean, it just seems to me like that one thing should not be ignored. You know, and I think you're on the right track. And where you're coming from, I completely get it. It's hard as hell to wrap your head around.
That's the thing. I don't not believe it. Um,
Right.
I mean the if you, my honest take in when I smelled this in 2019 driving down that road, I absolutely and I don't personally really ascribe to this much anymore just because of further delving into it. Not saying I'm just because I don't doesn't mean shit. Um, but when I first smelled something like this out of nowhere, I immediately thought of the dog man creature because of the heavy wet dog urine and decay smell that hit when we were driving that night back in 2019 down that
Mm-hmm.
road past Woodlands. I thought, oh shit, it's not normal because I mean, again, I know what decay. This didn't have that sickly sweet. This was just as if, yeah, and the
It's
fact
just
that
just rotten.
yes, and the fact that it dissipated, it was gone
Right.
45 minutes later. But the skunk that went off, that it probably drop kicked, I guess, or something drop kicked that motherfucker. But that skunk was still in the air. So how is something that wasn't that was not nearly as strong as this thing, whatever it was, how is it still there? But the other thing's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothered me, and that's kind of the only parallel that I have to that. Only this smelled sweet somewhat, like it smelled like rotting flesh after it's been out, like an animal that's been dead for a bit on the side of the
Mm-hmm.
road.
Yep.
And for it to happen here, anywhere else, over a department, I wouldn't think much of it. I'd say, fuck, you probably got a goddamn dead ass animal in fucking walls here. Let's knock a wall out. no,
I
um,
was actually going to say something about that. Ask you if you laid out any poison or anything like that, but I wouldn't think you had because of your dog.
no, the only I
And
actually, it's funny, man. Yeah, I know. I've been very careful. Like I said, I've those goddamn stink bugs, which I'm just
so over that shit.
I hate them so much. I really mean that. Um, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
I got you.
Yeah, it's become a personal grudge. It runs in the family too. I found out it's very funny. My brother, like I said, who lives nearby, he was over here the other day and he was telling me, he goes, "I motherfucking hate." I was like, "Hey, we haven't even talked about this. You hate them too?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "They smell like cilantro." And I said, "Thank you." I said, "Nobody else thinks that except." I was like, "Do you want to form a team?" No. So like, I sprayed just ortho insecticide, like nothing. And I've been it's not enough to kill anything. That was done 2 days ago. This smell though happened 2 days before that. So, um, I can't even think. I can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't even say that it's a possibility because literally the timeline doesn't fit. So, but that's what I mean. All this shit's got me even consider. I mean, it could be a whole other thing. Get into some other time.
Right.
But it makes me feel like, again, that all that shit I sent you, all those videos, or I'm sorry, those voice recordings,
Right.
that this is kind of made me think maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe I don't even have a good theory because what would that be? But then I also think maybe it is somehow. Maybe because it just felt like one of those little bursts that happen here. These little bursts of like, and then they're gone. It's almost like this just felt very weird. It was almost like,
Hey, didn't you say that that property's built on a lot of limestone? Is that right, or is it
oh,
granite?
this whole area, that park, the park that I was telling you about, where that really weird fucking thing happened with the footsteps
Mm-hmm.
and shit. That is, yeah, this whole area. It's that's about that's about 3 miles down to the total area. That's Limestone Gorge, one of the trails out there, Karst Trail. It's all karst and limestone heavy out here, and this whole area is karst related. And when I say karst, um, you I should bet it's just a special term, I guess, or whatever, the official term for sinkhole.
Right.
And
That
that
another thing
happens in our city.
I remember you telling me about that. How about with it being very rich in limestone, I would assume that there are underground water tributaries. You know.
Yes, I think so. I
Mm-hmm.
think so. But there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of water. It's just
Before I'd asked you, if you thought it might be actually tied to the land and not to the structures themselves.
Jamie thinks that. I think that too.
It's. It, I
We
mean it. I mean, process of elimination, man. I do believe that's the most probable thing that I can think of. I think whatever's there, it might be traveling, or it might have found whatever is there. It might have found something it likes and wants to hang around. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even saying that that's what it is for sure because we don't know. But
you're you're talking exactly. Yes, I've thought this too. That's where my theories start to get a little bit goosebumpy.
mm-hmm,
Makes me kind of start getting a little edgy because I'm starting to feel like whatever's possibly out here, you shouldn't talk about it. But I can't stop. I'm not going to. But the more I've talked about it, the more I've done stuff with it, the more it's happening. And I know it sounds woo and all that shit.
no, so you think you might be giving it power, but giving
No,
it that energy or attention, or what?
no, not. It doesn't feel like that.
Or you're paying more attention to it?
it feels like I'm putting a spotlight on myself.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm not so much giving this thing power or whatever this could be. It's more
Mm-hmm.
like you spotlight yourself, like somebody's, you take notice of it, and it takes notice of you.
Right.
And it's not so much you're feeding it power. It's more like that's the thing. I don't, I don't think human beings, whatever this shit is, can't really affect us more than it is. It seems to have a physical limitation to it. Like it can't directly just reach out and touch you and tear your head off like it kind of feels like it wants to sometimes. But we can't prove its existence. We can't reach out and touch it. But I think that, like I said, think of it two flat circles, like a projection almost, like the whole fringe physics, theoretical physics of all of our information is stored on a 2D realm, say, like on the edge of like how black holes they suck up the projection, but the 2D, the whatever information we are is stored somewhere flat on a realm that can't be destroyed so much. It's almost like some kind of energy form, and we're the projections, and that's actual theoretical physics. It's very crazy, but there's some very intelligent actual people that are in, well respected, talk about this, and that's what I've been getting into. And I wonder then, if you think of it that way, and it's crazy because how the fuck would things be three? I mean, again, that's something I can't personally all the way ascribe to either. Just because they're saying it doesn't mean I buy it, but it's interesting if you think of it like that. That's what kind of got me wondering if we're stored on, say, flat, I don't know what, polygon, squares, circles, whatever you want to call it, and we're projected from those things. What happens if there is or there has been, a massive disturbance that has caused a misalignment of types, where, say, think of it like a bunch of books on a bookshelf, like a library shelf. Think if somebody gets, you know, pushed into it and you hit the shelf and you rock it and the books fall down. What if something like that's happened? Because a bunch of people talk about, you talked about it, Jamie has talked about it, a lot of her people in her community have talked about it. I've heard it separately without even bringing it up. That's what's kind of weird. That's the synchronicity. There's been a shift. So what if that shift did happen, but we don't know how to perceive it so much, and it disrupted some kind of shit that we don't even fully understand yet? But it's like saying knocking books off a shelf, and those books land near each other. Some land on top of each other. What if there's a way, for these? And again, this is all. It sounds crazy, but it is definitely something they're looking into. Theoretical physics. What if they slide over each other? These 2D realms that possess all this information,
Mm-hmm.
and once they slide over each other, well, like I said, it's a projection, correct? These 2D things are projecting things, project the world around us, make it tangible for us to feel and process it and experience it. What if, though, they're on top of each other and they still try to project, but somehow that disruption's caused an imbalance of some type and the projections don't come through completely, and it's not supposed to be the area it's projected to? So it's almost, it sounds dumb and it sounds fucking crazy, but like the more I've listened to it and gotten into it, the more I'm like, is that fucking possible? I mean, because Einstein wrote about all this shit in 1935. He wrote about
Mm-hmm.
wormholes. Didn't know he was writing about them though. How's that?
Right. Right.
That's very and the fact that he wrote 2 papers, weren't supposed to be connected, but now that we look at them, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is guys like Leonard Susskind and Brian Greene, physicists that look at this and really do believe, especially Susskind. He's, an older guy. He's been around and come up with a lot of it. He doesn't think that Einstein meant to do that. But, like, what if he did? By accident somehow or something. I just don't know. What if time is not linear? I don't know. It's cool to think about. Because there's so many synchronicities sometimes that you can't always say that's coincidence. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
And that's what bothers me sometimes. Because, I don't know, just everybody said that shift. What if it has happened? And this is what it is. And that's why everything feels so fucking wonky. And we're seeing things we're not supposed to, experiencing things we're not supposed to. I mean, what if other worlds are experiencing us and don't know what the fuck they're looking at? They're getting upset about it too.
It's funny you mention that because I was getting ready to bring that up. What if it's a, it's a thinning of the veil, but in a different way that most people perceive it. Right. It's you've got this dimension and this dimension.
Exactly.
Something happens and they overlap.
That's it.
And all of a sudden that something comes through, but not all the way. That might be where the smell is coming from.
Okay, so all that bullshit I just said, you just summed it up perfectly. That's it, succinctly. It's overlapping. That's the best way to put it. I don't know why I didn't just say that. But that's the thing. It's like these realms that we exist on, like they say, are more of a 2D kind of thing, like where all of our information is stored. And then the projection, it's the holographic universe theory. That kind of shit. That's what it is.
Right.
I don't know why it just came to me. That's what it is. That's what they call it, sort of. It's the holographic universe, where we're holograms projected from a 2D realm. And you're right. What if they overlap? And again, what if one world lands on the other one? Like, what if this is our existence, and we somehow align with another one, come through, and people are like, or whatever the fuck is in the other one is like, oh man, you won't believe what the fuck I saw. I saw some fat guy getting really pissed off today in a Cabela's hat, and I just don't know what to do. And he seemed really mad, and I kind of feel bad for him. I mean, especially given he shouldn't be wearing that outfit. No, but like, it's what if it is like that? Like you put it, you did it very succinct way. It's an overlap because. And that's even got me just a very out there theory, because it's got nothing to do with beliefs. Talk about the Big Bang. What if that was a shift of types too?
Right.
And they just know how to finally they've been able to figure that one out. But look how long ago, they say they've got all the whatever they say that happened. How would they ever be able to perceive one that happened within the last decade?
Right. Unless there's people, there are people out here who are sensitive to that type of thing, and I guess it's just where their vibrational frequency is just resonates. Yes, resonance. It resonates just at the right frequency, and the vibration resonates just at the right frequency to where they can perceive it, and a lot of other people can't. It's kind of like And this overlap is where this energy transference. Maybe it's like how in the upper atmosphere when cold air hits warm air and they've got that friction. You've got thunder and then you've got lightning.
Yeah,
well, this is different, and I forget the name of the physicist. What he said stuck in my head. I can't remember his name for shit, but. His theory is this: if there is such thing as the manifestation of these wormholes, if you will, they'll leave that signature of decay.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It gets stuck. Yes, that's what I'm talking. Yeah. We might actually be talking about the same guy almost. Actually, the only one I know with Brian Greene, he's like big into it.
That might be who I'm talking
He
about. Who
kind of
I'm
looks like
thinking
Bill
about.
Maher a little bit. He I really want to punch him in the face really badly because he just really looks like he needs one. But like, he just has a really annoying fucking face. But like, he's really smart, knows his shit, and he won't back away from this stuff. And he talks about it, but he talks about wormholes a whole lot. He's had a bunch of TED talks. He has a whole man. I'm about to get into his whole ass library on. I found it on YouTube no less. And when our home change, we gain the eyes to see. It's possible. The pineal gland
Mm-hmm.
calcifies as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if what if some of them, not everybody's does?
Right.
And what if it's a form of, that's what's, I think sometimes of clairvoyance and all that stuff. I, knowing one, cohabitating
Right.
with one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, all the, it's not what everybody thinks. She's, and she's not the only one. I keep track of a lot of weird shit, probably that a lot of, I don't know. It is whatever. I mean, I don't often talk about it, but I've noticed that people that typically, and this is not, this is a generalization of types, but it's just something I've noticed. It's personal observation.
Mm-hmm.
People's these abilities, the extraordinary, and that's why, yeah, um, they tend to have a lot of personal issues
Mm-hmm.
as far as
Yeah.
like some some are within their control, but others sometimes it's really weird bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, because Jane will have something happen, I'm like, oh my god, how the fuck did that happen again to you? Like, what are you doing that is, like, how are you missing this? It's got to be
Yes.
something missing. But it's
I've seen
like,
that.
also I'm like, I think about it, I'm like, well, what, she'll tell me the process, and I'm like, well, okay, actually I don't really understand what the fuck just happened. That just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, it's almost like someone set you up to fail. And just, that's why I often wonder, is it a form of human evolution that might be the growing pains stage where people, it's, and I can't speak because I don't have the ability, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
but what if it's so much worse for them than we know, and it's almost like being driven to the brink sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but being given this evolutionary trait almost. And it might not, I mean I don't know, I'm not a doctor or medical by any means, I wish I was. Pineal gland, I don't know how you can check to see if it's what's the calcification of someone's is versus, normal, you know what I'm saying, like the levels of those. Checking those people, I wonder what theirs would be. And then if it is not um, abnormal, then you roll that out and you say, okay, actually it's not that, then it's something else. And that is even more like, because like I think that's the scary thing, man. When you start rolling shit out, you're not left with answers. You're left with just like I am right
More,
now. I don't
more
have more questions
questions.
either. I just don't know I don't know, and
Right.
I feel small for once. I mean, not like I'm going around like, but I feel minuscule almost. Like there's something else just like there, and I do feel fortunate in a way because it makes life more interesting, and it is cool. But after March and this, I'm starting to feel a little fucking uncomfortable. Like, what's going on, man? What is this shit? Why is it manifesting in these very harrowing kind of ways almost? Like these
Mm-hmm.
scary experiences that like are almost seem taunting. Like it knows it scares you.
Yeah.
It knows it startles you. Because I was fucking startled. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite fucking startled the other night.
Oh, and Ray, this is not deja vu, dear. We did have this conversation, and we're having it again here, independently of our
Well,
conversation.
that's the thing. Well,
It's
Ray,
crazy.
the thing is I, what I've disclosed to Lee, I don't think everybody knows the full entire story about I don't think I've talked about all of it over the course of the last 18 months. I want to say of everything that's gone on. So it does seem like that, but if it's but the reason is because there are things that constantly come up or new information or a new experience, and it's like adding to it. That's the thing. It's not. It's very fucking weird. It's like there's always something else that happens, and you're like, what? When you just start to try to grasp something, something else will occur.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not super reluctant because I'm talking about it here, but I am getting more hesitant, opening up about not like I'm not going to because if I'm asked, I'll always be open, but I start to feel like I'm gonna lose credibility because like, oh wow, something else happened? No fucking way. It sounds kind of made up though. That sounds real fantastical. And it's like, is that what it's trying to do to me though? Is it trying to do that to me? Because that's what you would do to me to make me really fucked up. Actually, make me lose my credibility. Make me
Right.
start to question telling anybody about shit because I didn't fully disclose. I'm still not disclosing probably everything about that night. Um,
Dude, I completely get it. There's so many
because it's
people out
just
here. Yeah.
it makes you start to look because I've seen other people tell tall tales and then come out and say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did make that up. And so I start to go, well, if I keep saying, like, if it ratchets, it keeps going up and up and the stories keep getting whatever, people are going to look at you and be like, man, you're just, come on, like, will that happen? It's like, whoa. And I don't want that to occur. I don't want, you know, me to, I pride myself on doing my due diligence and not being fantastical and not being afraid of
Mm-hmm.
exploring because I do want to figure things out. But like, this is the first one where it, it, I guess it feels like there should have been something I could have found. That's it feels like I maybe missed something, or I, I should have found it. Something should have come to me, and I just it hasn't. And this is most I've talked about it. Jamie, I haven't even really told everything to because I think I usually try to tell everybody I don't get afraid of stuff. I'm not. I was fucking afraid that night, man. I was fucking afraid. Okay, I remember going outside and looking around, and I had my 12 gauge too. I'm not because I felt very. I don't know. I needed to feel something, I guess, as far as like solidity for myself.
Totally
Plus,
get that.
if it's a coyote, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
fucking plane. Where y'all going? That's so important. Really? Shut that shit up. Um, I'm just
Dude.
kidding. I don't think I could fight a plane. Um, but
I would like to
I
see
came back.
that.
Yeah,
I'd pay money
I
for
would
that
too.
shit.
Man, just go up and the pilot just punches me, and I'm like, I didn't expect that shit. He just knocked that guy out. But I went out, man, and I looked all around, explored everything because I mean, you know, um, I didn't see nothing. And so I go back up, and I'm thinking, I smelled that in 2019, and it fucking made me afraid then too, like this. And I mean, yeah, my eyes watered because I just felt like I'm fucking nuts. Like something's wrong, or or something happened. I don't understand it, and it makes me feel like it was something to it. It wasn't just random. It because I've been saying this is chaotic for a bit. The way it can, the incidents, like it just feels chaotic. Like it doesn't, and I mean that like it's not structured. There's no order. There's no cohesive factor to it. It just happens all over the place, and it's just this, and this. This is the first time it felt disappointed. And the only way I can describe it is it's like, I don't really understand. It's like a, maybe, I don't know if everybody's heard that uncanny valley thing where, you know, you see the uncanny valley where it's something like you see something that doesn't look like a human face. It's like on the AI and stuff. It doesn't look right to you. It's like you start to feel very uncomfortable. Like you're like, what the fuck am I looking at here? Kind of thing. I know what I'm supposed to be looking at, but it doesn't look like that. Something's wrong.
Right.
And that's how I'm feeling. It's this weird, almost like a fight or flight type of thing, where I just immediately feel almost like fear. That's what it is. I immediately feel fear, and I don't know why. Fully, I understand something's happening. I understand it, but I don't know why I am to a point where I am afraid. Like I'm afraid of a smell. Why? Because I know what it's supposed to be, but it's not supposed to be here. And it's not behaving in the boundaries of the reality I know. And that feels terribly frightening. It makes me feel small because I can't affect anything like that. I can't affect reality in this way, but something else can. Well, it's got me beat, so to speak. I just wonder if anybody, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if you really start to look at things, really, everybody analyzes, doesn't get sensational, doesn't say this or that, doesn't immediately jump to, like I said, the Bigfoot thing. Because I'm like, I can take pictures of the daytime, and I dare anyone to say a Bigfoot walked through there, and it's not a goddamn alien or supernatural, extraordinary thing. And then I also want to know why it's not just erasing the humankind, because it could kill us then with ease. It could kill. It's a predator essentially. If you really want my take, that's a predator type creature that could kill a whole goddamn task force because it can't be seen. It can't be really detected. Why not do that? So that's why I don't really, But I mean,
This is a good question. Ray asked, is the fear yours, or do you feel it's projected on you?
it's mine.
Okay.
It's mine. That's what I mean. It's a
The devil's in the details, man. I mean, once we get to the bottom of what we know, we can, maybe piece some of these puzzle pieces together and figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I don't. I think I might know. Might be. I mean, I might be assuming, but I think I know what she's kind of getting at there. I know it's my fear because I know my fear. It's, but I think if something like this could fully project, it wouldn't just do that. It would do much, much worse. I think if something has the ability to project, then again, you could also disagree with that, which I will disagree with myself in the same sentence, I guess. Maybe it can't project more than what it is, but I just know that it felt like mine, because I didn't feel it was the combination of my dog not reacting, the smell literally not being detectable 2 to 5 feet from the position at all, not lingering, nothing, completely different. It was like a bubble, like I said, like an enclosed space, completely separate, but in the same room. And just the it was definitely. If anything, I don't know. It's so bizarre. I don't get startled during stupid movies. That's what's so funny is, and it was such a dumb fucking cliche thing. It was because I was painting. I didn't really have to pay attention. I look up and I was like, oh fuck, the dumbass doll moved. I was like, why? And not because I don't like little things.
Right.
Ever since my dad terrorized me with the Troll movie back in the, he really did it, motherfucker. Oh god, he was the worst as far as that goes. He would watch all those horribly scary movies and just like be like, "Oh yeah, come on, it's okay. It's just it's not that bad." And it's like, I'm still to this day. My biggest fear, I'll admit to everyone right now, is anything under 3 feet tall. That is of that I no. So,
Them and fucking clowns, man.
dude, I clowns never really. It's weird. They never fucked with me. The Troll movie though, and Ghoulies and Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye by Stephen King. That oh my god, it wasn't the Troll movie. It was that actually. I always forget. Cat's Eye with the little thing
Mm-hmm.
that was sucking Drew Barrymore's soul out. He watched that a lot for some reason. It's not even that good, but like I remember that fucking thing getting caught in the fan. And as a kid, I would put a fan. I'm not kidding. God damn it. This is what my father did to me. This is why I am the way I am. Okay, everyone. This is why I am the way I am. He psychologically broke me. But like, no, really, he played that a lot and just watched it. I guess it came on one of the movie channels, but I would put a box fan in front of my door at night. I would.
Right.
My point is I don't get startled by movies, and that is what's weird is I got startled right, and then that scent hit. So my other theory, well, I don't know. I just wonder if we can interact with our universe in really stupid fucking ways sometimes. Like really stupid ways like that. Like what? It's just disruptions of some type, like adrenaline, or just I don't know. It's so dumb that, but that's where my mind goes. I just consider every little thing, even if it is way out there, and I'm not. It's just an idea, I guess. I just wonder, can things get so ingrained in you that you moments of getting startled or extreme emotions of some type, startled, joyous bursts of energy like that, if in the right atmosphere are we able to create this shit, but like in really like almost like dreams where you can't control your dream, you don't know what you're dreaming about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, trust me, I dream about a lot better shit than what I do. So I wonder if it's like that, almost like a waking moment of I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know, because that doesn't explain all the other shit then.
Nope.
Especially, yeah, the voice I heard didn't explain that because I was pretty calm. I was just looking for my little skunk buddy, which I have not seen since. Huh. I liked him, but although I mean, it doesn't explain all that. It doesn't explain other experiences, and I'm sure it doesn't explain it
Nope.
for other people. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I just, I don't know. Nobody's experienced anything like it either. You've given the best answer, actually. You have actually, yeah. Nobody, all the other answers weren't that good. I mean, two people actually started arguing in the comments over it, and I was like, oh my god, just forget it. Then I was like, are you guys arguing over my experience? Seriously, you're mad at? I mean, it's just like that was not necessary. Like, it's not funny. It's not cute. It's just that's why I don't
Yeah.
like to
I,
interact with too many of them. So
I get it.
it's just foolishness.
This
Yeah, I
is
mean,
some of the chat. They've got their own thing going on in chat, and they miss a lot. And they're like paying attention to their conversation while trying to pay attention to what's going on here. And they're like, "He did what? Wait a minute, what?
I did what?
Yeah, what did
He
Buck do?"
he fought a 747? No. He smelled one? Yes. You know what?
Right.
Yes. I mean, nah, that's the thing. It's like this is one experience, and that's the thing. Like I said, Buck, thank you for being so open. Thanks so much. Well, if the Bat Mom said, I thought it was the Batman. The Bat Mom's better. So, yeah. I mean, it's just. I think being open is the way to be. Um, I'd rather just in anything in life. If I know something, I'm typically not um, reticent to tell anyone. Like, yeah, I know it. It's a fact, or it's just not so much a fact, but it's like this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deny it in anything, like good or bad. Like it's just like try to be open. I think people respect that more, and you respect yourself more. I respect
Right.
myself more. So,
Well,
um,
especially here, most of the people here, if they're not going to judge you here. They may not have any uh, answers, but they've got theories. There's a lot of people here has maybe been through that. Some people have no idea what it's like to go through this, but
man, I'm telling
either
you, it's
either way, nobody's going to give you shit for being here, and if they
it,
do, they're gone.
it's it's funny because it's spooky as fuck out here because of it's dumb though. It's just humidity. How
Mm-hmm.
humid it was today, mixed with our dew point, but there is a thick level of fog across the entire landscape. I'm talking like 6 feet tall. It's awesome. It's like perfect mood. It's badass though. It's really cool. I mean, it's the kind of shit like I don't fear shit like ooh, it's
Fucking a
cool.
dude, I got the damn theme to The Exorcist running through my head right now.
I mean, this is it kind of is like that because it's like crept in. Like it reminds me of John Carpenter's The Fog because it's like slowly crept in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
up to the deck and shit. And I'm like, those were just pirates. Why didn't you guys just set them on fire? That's what I would have done. Just start setting things on fire. Like I don't understand why some of these horror movies. I'm like, just start burning things. Start blasting. Stop asking questions. Just burn your whole town down if you have to. Like they're going to anyway.
God
You do it.
bless it. Ray asks, she says, Buck, you experienced events as a child?
Yes. Yes. I did. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh, yeah. My family actually, certain individuals in my family, my uncle, my mother to an extent. It's all on one side typically. Can't ask my father. If he did or not. He may have. He may not have. So, but my uncle has experienced some really fucking out there stuff. Actually, worse than I have. He's funny. He's actually seen more things than I have. He's just might be crazier, so he just doesn't care. He just is pretty much what I just said. Well, he'll go get his rifle, and if it's still there, it's gonna get a couple holes through it until it's no longer a thing, or he's not. So it's just he's had some weird shit happen though, and I mean he's the only other person I know that is a tough person that I've seen scared by something that like this. And his was the house it happened in was literally streets over from where I grew up.
Hmm.
Same time I lived there too. So back in it was actually at the tail end 2000. I stopped my childhood home. I lived there from 90 to 2001, and I had some one-off experiences out there. Early 90s, it kind of stopped. I'd say, I don't really know, I guess. I can only think of a few, and they were, might have just been my imagination. It is bizarre, though, that I know that he had experiences, and I know it wasn't his imagination because my grandmother also had them in that house that he had them in. So she just won't talk about them as much. So, and so yeah, we've all kind of had them. I had them as a kid, though, definitely, and then didn't have them again until I was 20. And then it's funny, only had it for a couple months. It's the worst one at that time I had, though. Definitely very scary to me then. Now I would just whatever, because it's not nearly as fucking weird as some of this other shit. It's still weird, but whatever. So 20 in 2005, had it then at age 20. And I guess that's why it's hard to say whether it's tied to land or what. But I didn't have anything else happen until 2019. So 14 years. And since 2019, it's been the most activity I've had in my entire life, actually. Because I've had some weird kind of experience pretty often. 2019 tail end, and I'd say in the last 12 months, definitely, like just in the fact that, you know, 4 other people have experienced something, you know, separately, and one's a big skeptic and remains that way. Don't even discuss it, just because that's not ever going to be a thing to discuss with them. It's just weird. My grandmother saw the most bizarre thing, the apparition, and then she moved out of across from us because we were taking care of her, and she fucking moved out. She thought that, yeah, that's a good idea for her, and but she saw that right before she moved out. Actually, weirdly enough, like she left about 3 weeks after that. So I don't really know how to tie any of that completely together, but this is the whatever's going on here. Even though I said it's not structured, it's repetitious, but never the same thing. Never the same thing, actually. It's always different.
That's interesting too.
Yeah, there's no. That's what I mean when I say there's no cohesive. It's just
Right.
it's always different.
If it was a haunting, if it was a residual haunting, if you seeing things, it would form a pattern. You'd hear certain things during the day or night, certain times a day or night. You could copy it down and find a distinct pattern. Right here, it just sounds like it's random as fuck.
The only thing that's been, the only thing I can say that's been somewhat in the same vein as electronic disturbances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, non-biological or whatever we want to call it, components being interacted with in some fashion. And then knocking. That's happened 3 times, but only once did it. Knocking repeated, and the knocking incident repeated exactly, actually. That's the only thing, though. It repeated. Started, my mother had it, and I was over doing laundry about a year or so ago, and over a year ago, actually. That's the very first time I started picking up that things were going on, piecing it together. We heard knocking down in the basement where the laundry room's at she had heard it a week prior, and I heard it, obviously a week after that. And it was two knocks that we heard, thought it was someone at the door. Both had that reaction, just very much like, oh, someone's at the door. Go. There's nobody there. You go to another door. You're like, maybe there's something's going. Like, I don't know. Just by chance, you find out you're by yourself, pretty much. Like, she was by herself at the time. I was the only one in the house. And there was nobody near doors that could create a knocking noise of any type, prank or just happenstance. So that's the only event that's repeated. But that was one of the very first ones. And spooky theory time. What if that was something trying to get in, and somehow one of us let it in? Oh, terrifying to think of. I don't really think that's it. I did kind of just scare myself though, so I don't think that's it. But that is kind of interesting that that's what kind of kicked it off a little bit. I mean, prior to that, I'd had electronic disturbances. Like, I'd had my phone, laptop, and key fob all die over here at the same time, while they were all charged. The key fob not charged, but a battery in it. I get back over to James, go back home over to James, and it's fucked up. The key fob starts working as soon as I'm over there. Like, I was mad because I was about to change the battery, and I hit the button and it started working. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I said, I was about to go buy a battery for like $6. I was like, you motherfucker. And the phone's fine. Everything's fine. Like, it's like, I have no idea why any of it died like that. Stopped working, because it all started working again. And I was like, this shit's not dead. What the fuck? Like, it's weird. And this, but after that knocking, that's when the shit started happening. And it's weird. I don't know. I thought for a minute it might be the owner of this house. Evidently did die. I don't know if they died here or in a hospital. Can't confirm that, but from all accounts, though, like, it doesn't feel like someone not letting go, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like a haunting like that, because again, it's in two separate structures, and it mostly happens to my mom and her husband in the house, and with me it happens outside or in the loft garage area. So they've experienced nothing that I have, and I've experienced nothing that they have. It's all been different. So this is one that I would honestly be open. I'm not going to. I can't pay anyone.
Right.
But I would absolutely be open to other people coming out and taking a look at this shit. Because this is... I would tell them that I don't know if you would find anything, but you have to give it some time to, because it doesn't just happen when you want it to. It's happened every time, and I never expected it. But I don't think I'm capable of figuring this out.
Let me ask you something. Are you experiencing? Are you experiencing anything right now?
I think you're ripping. Like, the other sounds ripping.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird static and audio fluctuation. Reverb on your audio? I don't think that's what that is, dude.
The audio is ripping. Can you hear me?
He's probably going to come back. You're right, though. It sounded tinny. It could be something, something explainable. Something very logical that's happening. But from everything he's talking about, it just seems to me like, well, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Isa. Maybe he needs to reboot. I'm glad you guys are picking up on this. This is weird. You see that, guys? You're coming through loud and clear, bruh. You're coming through loud and freaking clear. Crystal. And then you weren't. Something's freaking going on. I know, right? Wait a minute for see if he can come back. I don't know. So much for the hour show. But you know what? This is what I was kind of hoping would happen. Someone come on and talk about their experiences of what happened, and I'm glad to come on. That's what this is all about. I'm willing to go the extra hour and a half. If it helps. And I'm glad you guys are here too. I mean, we got a fellowship right here, and maybe we can throw out some ideas to help, with this problem. Yeah, well, I was planning on having at least a 2-hour show anyway, but the hour was mostly just for straight up live. But if someone after the first hour, if somebody wanted to come back and talk, that's what I was hoping to do. If you wanted to talk and it just. Yeah, me too. You guys are the greatest. It sounded like I was coming through really tinny too. I could hear a little bit of feedback. Yep. Oh, I asked if you were experiencing. What I asked was if you were experiencing anything at the time when we were talking just then, and you started, having all that interference. I asked if you were experiencing anything physically, or auditory, there, at that time. Yeah. What does Hiker say? We need time to warm up. Yeah, we need to come on an hour early just to get warmed up for the crazy shit that happens here. It's great. It's awesome. But no, Buck, hey, tell you what, man. I'm going to wrap things up right now because it's 2.5 hours. I'm going to get back in touch with you. Would you, if you're still listening, uh, that ain't no goddamn quinky dink, folks. It ain't. Not at the time. Just as soon as you asked the question, it sounded fuzzy and distorted. No, 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 no. That's what this is all about. Like I explained at the beginning of the show. I was going to go an hour, straight up live with everybody, and if somebody wanted to come on at the top of the hour or didn't want to, express everything, I was going to take that other hour and just, I would sign off, and then we could go backstage and talk. We've done that. But would you mind seeing if you can come back on, say, Saturday for a show? About the same time, about around 10 o'clock. Great. Great. Maybe we can hash some more of this shit out and give us. Hey, everybody, you got some homework. You think maybe you could put some two and two together and see if we could help figure out what the hell's going on with Buck and his place? Yep. Yep. Hey, Bat Mom, come on back over Saturday about around 10 o'clock if you can. He'll give you some more backstory so you're not, he'll fill you in a little bit better. Yeah, I did. That's why I asked. That's why I asked that. And all of a sudden I started getting this scratchy sound, and I'm like, dude, something's going on. Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. That's just it. It did kind of come in off of a private conversation he and I've had, because we talk back and forth a lot about as much as me and Ray do, and so yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You just come off of that, and then it happens. That's no coincidence, man. I don't. She said I had chills since she logged in. Yeah, come on, Eric. Hopefully you got some free time. And come on. Um, yeah, yeah. We're here, man. We're gonna try and get this sorted out. Thanks, guys. I've said it before, I say it again. You guys are as much part of this fellowship and this movement as I am. I'm just fortunate enough to be the talking head up here. Try to keep things flowing, and but you guys, you steer the ship. You steer the ship. That's that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We are the others. We are the others. We're the ones who are out here standing in the gap for everybody else who are ignorant to the fact of the things that are going on out here in this world. And together, together we're stronger. You know, we're that bundle of sticks that's not easily broken. So, as long as we can keep this up, I mean, uh, maybe we can help a lot of people. You know, you guys have helped me. This has been a lot of therapy for me. You're afraid of cicadas? Oh, Lord, yeah. Yep, and it's all connected. It's all connected, and we discussed it tonight. That you know, uh, likes, likeness. It's all connected, and we're gonna try and get to the truth. Okay, guys. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get my hind end in the bed, and I will see you, fine ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night. Hey Buck, I'll get back in touch with you, Hoss, and if you have any concerns or anything, keep me posted, man, of what's going on. Excuse me. I'm not opposed to having a special pop up whenever. And I'm like I said, I'm going to jump off of here, and everybody have a blessed night, and have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully we'll see you all then. And remember, as always, I love you, mean it.